So over here on the menu, under Media Center, we're going to click on Routine Essentials. Under Routine Essentials, you're going to notice there are many topics related to functional routines. We're looking for arrival routine, so we're going to click here on the school bus, arrival. On this page, at the very top, they provide us with an example of a student going through the arrival routine. Now here under activities and ideas, we have the list of suggestions that's going to allow us to teach our student the arrival routine. So we start off with a mini schedule for arrival, and we have transition schedule, behavior supports, putting items away, safety skills, social supports, and data collection. To the right, we have materials provided or printable form. So here they suggest a sentence strip template. There's one in Spanish, and they have arrival routine icons, and there's also one in Spanish as well. So let's check it out. Sentence strip template. And here is the sentence strip template. So I'm just going to turn this so that we can see it. And so we have one for 3 icons, 4 steps, and then 5 steps. And then there also are icons to go with that. And arrival icons. We have a female going through the steps, and we also have a male. Next, it says you can use a transition schedule. It says provide each student with an individualized daily schedule. And so this can be used for many different things. For the arrival routine, let's see how this will help us. So we have a wall strip template. Let's check it out. Seven steps for this wall strip. The location icons, small and medium. Our student in the morning for the arrival, what is it that we want them to do? For some, it may be a written schedule that they check off. And so you can type in here what the activity is and have little reminders here. Type in the student's name to individualize it for them. And here's an example. Morning arrival. Remember to put your things away. So for this one, we can say, and today is Friday, activity, arrival. Remember to put lunch away, and hang up coat. The arrival routine. So that's the transition schedule. Behavior supports, use of a token reinforcement system, paired with a visual of expected student behavior to encourage walk into the classroom, putting away items, and greeting others. Use behavior support icons to support students needing extra support, following directions, and following classroom expectations. So let's check out behavior supports. Behavior support icons, first then boards, token boards, optional token boards, voice tone boy, voice tone girl, first, then, and next. So let's check out the token board. And so by going through the steps for the arrival routine, it can be reinforced along the way. With tokens, other behavior supports besides the token board, they may need reminders. So here are some visuals for that. So that's behavior supports. I'm going to go back to the arrival routine. putting items away. Here, a template that you can use to make that identifiable. So, actually, I'm going to back out just a little bit. You can type in the student's name here. Safety skills. What are the safety skills involved? Icons that you can use here. Well, I'll come here. Social supports. So let's check out the social supports link. Interacting with peers. So they have some other games that are coming, but let's check out the Hello game that they recommend for the arrival routine. A game board for male and female, and here you would just place the images of the familiar people, of adults or peers, and when they greet someone, boom, reinforcement. Excellent. So we're going to go back to the arrival routine. And the last step is to collect data. And they recommend to use the data sheet in the STAR program in the box that came with your materials and curriculum, and it's on a CD. And at the bottom of the arrival routine, there's just a list of all of the PDF visuals and steps that were recommended in all of the lessons at the top. Okay? So that's the how to find an arrival routine in STAR. Now let's take a look at the LINKS curriculum functional routines. So on the home page, we'll go to routines, and under routines, we'll go to all routines. And on this page, it lists all of the routines in LINKS, and it's broken up into a few sections. So we have school routines, and they have stage 1 for the essential level routines in this column, and stage 2 intermediate level routines in the second column, and the third column advanced traditional routines. I scroll down the page. We have community vocational routines, and we have stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3 for community vocational routines, and then we have migrated custom routines. So for today, we're going to look at going to school, or the arrival routine. So going to school, I'm going to click. And there's no video that shows us an example, but it does list all the steps that are needed and necessary for the student to arrive to school. And it says, observe the student performing the going to school routine in the natural environment. Cue the student with the selected cues, and score the student using the LINKS independent scoring scale. And here's that scale where 0, the student does not complete any form of prompting. And then we have the most prompt with 1 to the least amount for 4. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and print this document. And so here is our LINKS data sheet. And so here's that rubric. And here are all the steps. And so you're going to observe the student for the expected behavior. Student unbuckles the seatbelt. That's for step 1. And you're going to put the date, and you're going to give it a score, 0 through 4. If they can perform that skill. If they perform that skill just great, they can unbuckle their seatbelt, we're going to give it a 4 and provide the date. Now let's say that they scored a 1 for gathering their materials. So here are the prompts in order to get this student to master this goal, so that we can move on to the next step, because we can't go on until this student masters this skill. Now over on the right are lessons that will cue you in as to, hey, if they cannot do this and you model what you're asking them to do, lessons 6, 10, and 12 for that A cue will help that bring that skill up. So it's more like a prerequisite. So these lessons are on the LINCS curriculum website. So let's just take a quick look to find that skill, because we noticed that they're not able to gather their belongings. And we said lessons 10, or lessons 6, 10, and 12 will help with that. So let's go to all lessons under the lessons tab. And responding to language, here's lesson 6. And here's lesson 10. So 6, 10, and 12. So lesson 6, 10, and then lesson 12, following one-step directions. So if we go to follow one-step directions, we click on the 3 little dots and then lesson plans, and it pulls up that lesson. Here's the lesson that will help us get that skill taught and trained, and it gives you all the steps. There's a correction procedure, and recommendations. So I'm going to go back to the routine. Going to school. And that's how you navigate the LINCS curriculum and find the step-by-step instructions for a functional routine.